Alright, so this topic we're going to cover graphing quadratic functions. First function, f of x equals x squared plus 6x minus 7. When graphing these functions, okay, basic graphing of these functions, we need two things. One, we need the roots of the function, or the zeros of the function, or the x-intercepts, however you want to call them. And second, we want a vertex of the function. The roots of the function, we go about it by simply factoring. X squared plus 6x minus 7. What can we factor this into? X squared plus 6x minus 7.
X minus 1 and x plus 7.
Very good. X plus x minus 1, x plus 7, set equal to 0, because we want to find out when the function equals 0. My next step, take each factor, set equal to 0, so take my x minus 1, set equal to 0, take my x plus 7, and set equal to 0 as well. Solve each one individually. We get x equals 1 and x equals negative 7. So my two roots are 1 and negative 7. So when x is 1, y is 0. When x is negative 7, y is also 0. So these are both my x-intercepts. So if we have our graph, we have 1, 0 and negative 7, 0. We can graph these points here. 1, 0 will be here. Negative 7, 0. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And there's my second root there. So my parabola will cross the x-axis at those roots. Second thing I need is the vertex. Okay, we're going to follow a nice simple formula for vertex. Put this aside. So the vertex of the parabola, we're going to follow this formula. X equals negative b divided by 2a.
Keep in mind, that only gives you the x-coordinate of the vertex. There's another step to find the y-coordinate.
So the standard form is ax squared plus bx plus c. So in this case, what is my a? What is my b? What is my c? What is my a term here? What is the a term?
1.
1, very good. A equals 1, b equals 6, c equals negative 7. So I'm going to plug in. So I have negative 6 divided by 2 times a, which is 2 times 1. And if we solve this, we get x equals negative 3. Again, like as Mr. Cunha said, this is the x-coordinate of the vertex. So we have the x. Now we need a y-coordinate. Any guesses on how we find this y-coordinate?
You plug x back in?
Let's plug x back in. So f of negative 3, I'm going to plug in negative 3 for x. So I got negative 3 squared plus 6 times negative 3 minus 7. Negative 3 squared, we get 9. 6 times negative 3, negative 18, minus 7. 9 minus 18, we get negative 9. Negative 9 minus 7, and we get an answer of negative 16. So my vertex is negative 3, negative 16. Okay, I'm going to come back here to my graph. Negative 3, negative 16 is my vertex.
Now, what problem are we going to run into here? It's going to be off the
Okay, so if I have my negative 3, negative 16, your vertex should always be almost about in between your two roots. Okay, your vertex should be almost in between your two roots. Now my graph only goes down to negative 10, so we're going to be way down here somewhere for my vertex. And then my parabola should come up, going through my roots, touching my vertex, and then passing my roots again. Okay. There's one other piece of information we should also know, something called the axis of symmetry. Axis of symmetry. And the axis of symmetry is a vertical line. The axis of symmetry is a vertical line. Now that's where I could draw a vertical line somewhere that will split my graph symmetrically. So where can I put this vertical line that's going to split my graph symmetrically?
On the vertex.
On the vertex. Very good. And the equation of a vertical line is always what?
What's the equation of that vertical line?
Equation of this vertical line. I need an equation.
Undefined.
X equals 3.
X equals 3. Very good. So the axis of symmetry is x equals not 3 but negative 3. Okay, so we have our roots. We have our vertex. We have our axis of symmetry, often abbreviated as AOS.
On the street.
Okay, let's take a look at another example. F of x equals x squared plus 4x plus 2. Again, we need our roots, and we need our vertex. How do we find my roots? How do I factor this? X squared plus 4x plus 4. Now these are nice easy factoring. Oh, my leading coefficient is 1. So what are my two quantities here? Can I factor?
2 and 2.
Okay, so x plus 2, x plus 2 again. If I solve each one of these, x plus 2 equals 0, x plus 2 equals 0, I get the same answer here. I get the same root, x equals negative 2. So in this case, this graph only has one root. Okay, so it's only going to intersect the x-axis one time, only at negative 2.
Can it be a parabola if it does that?
It will still be a parabola because it's still squared. Okay, your parabolas again can intersect your axis one time, 2 times, or not at all, depending on where the parabola is. So here we have again our root was negative 2, so we have negative 2 comma 0. There's our one root. We still
Anybody
need.
anticipate what part of the parabola that's going to be now? Joe? That's the vertex. So you don't have to actually find the vertex when there's one root.
Very good. So that root will be our vertex as well. Okay, what we also need though, since the vertex is negative 2 comma what?
0.
Very good, 0. So that root, the entire root is going to be the vertex, negative 2 comma 0. So this is also our vertex. And if you are on the root there, can anybody tell me what my y-intercept is from this equation? What is the y-intercept? What is the y-intercept?
0.
I'm saying I guess, but is it
4,
4?
very good. So if you plug in 0 for x, this is going to 0 out, 0 plus 4, so your y-intercept is 4. And the only reason why I wanted that point was so I have an idea of where my graph crosses.
Now, can anybody think of how you can know exactly where the other point is based on knowing the vertex?
Wouldn't it be -4 so that it's a...
Right, and that's why the axis of symmetry is important, because if you draw that, you know that the other point will be the same distance away from it on the left.
Okay, and again, our axis of symmetry is, what is the equation of our axis of symmetry? What is the equation of our axis of symmetry?
Would it be f of -2?
Close? Close. Something equals negative 2, but what equals negative 2? What is the axis of symmetry? Remember, it's a vertical line. X equals negative 2 is our axis of symmetry.
What do you need that for?
Graph. Okay, I got one more example. F of x equals 2x squared plus 8x plus 1. Alright, so all our roots are not always going to be perfect. They're not going to be perfect integers. We may get some roots that are going to be rational or real numbers. Okay. Can we factor 2x squared plus 8x plus 1? Can we factor this by the factoring method? No. Okay, no, there's nothing that's going to, the AC method won't work, factoring won't work. So now how do we get our roots? We have something called the quadratic formula. Let's all write this down. X equals negative b plus or minus square root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So the opposite of b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4 times a times c all divided by 2 times a. What is my a? What is my b? What is my c here? What is my a, b, and c?
A is 2, B is 8, and C is 1.
Very good. And then let's go back and plug in. This will help us find our roots. X equals -8 plus or minus b squared, which is 8 squared, minus 4 times a times c, which is 1, sorry there, all over 2 times a. Simplify. X equals -8 plus or minus square root of 64 minus 4 times 2 times 1, which is 8, all over 2 times 2, which is 4. X equals -8 plus or minus square root of 64 minus 8, again an answer of 56 divided by 4. Okay, so now here's where your simplifying skills come back into place. So -8 plus or minus square root of 56.
You simplify. How do you simplify radical 56?
What does radical 56 simplify to?
Not a perfect square. How
To
do you
break this up
simplify
into
radical?
what?
Yeah, from the-
You break it up into 4 times
4 times what?
8, 14.
Good. Next year that'll be even more.
So 4 times 14, and 4 times 14 simplifies to 2 radical 14 over 4.
Are we done?
Okay, I still have 3 terms. I have 1, 2, 3. I have -8, 2, and 4. Do they all share a common factor? Yes, I could take a 2 out of all of them. If I reduce all these by 2, I'm left with -4 plus or minus square root of 14 divided by 2. So my 2 factors here. I'm going to take this to the next screen. My 2 factors here. One factor is -4 plus square root of 14 divided by 2, comma 0.
How do you know if it's plus or minus?
It's going to be both. And the other one's going to be -4 minus square root of 14 divided by 2, comma 0. Okay, so this is not the easiest number to see what it turns out to be on the number line. So square root of 14, if you plug it to your calculator,
3.7.
square root of 14 is roughly 3.7. So here you have -4 plus 3.7, which is about 0.3, and then 0.3 divided by 2, and you should get 0.15. Very good. So 0.15, comma 0, and then this other side I have -4 minus 3.7, so I have -7.7 divided by 2.
3.85.
We got an answer of 3.85 negative, and now we have our 2 roots. This is just to have an idea of where the roots are. Okay, so this is roughly a little bit after 0. This one's a little bit before -4. So a little bit after 0, and a little bit before 1, 2, 3, 4. A little bit before -4. When you're plotting your roots, the best practice is just to take these 2 numbers here and put these together. Let's take those with us. So this is my -4 radical 0. If you're asked to label, this is my reversed. There's that root, there's that root. We still need our vertex. And again, we're just going to use our -b over 2a. X equals -b over 2 times a for my vertex. So in this case, we have negative 8 divided by 2 times 2. Negative 8 divided by 4, which is negative 2. All right, so now we have the x coordinate. We still need the y coordinate.
How do we find the y coordinate?
There we go. So let's plug in x for this. So if we plug in negative 2 for this function, what do you get? Okay, negative 2 squared. Negative 2 squared, 4. 4 times 2, 8. 8 times negative 2, minus 16, plus 1. 8 minus 16, negative 8, plus 1, negative 7. So my vertex is negative 2, negative 7.
Wait.
Let's go back to our graph. So negative 2 squared is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 8 times 2 is negative 16, plus 1, negative 8, plus 1, negative 7. Negative 2, negative 7. 1, 2, negative 2, negative 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.